This is another Iran production.
Legion of Tunes.
boy. Yo, T-Baby in the building. Appreciate you stopping by. How you doing this morning? Yeah. I don't know. It's always something. Apparently it's allergies. At least to my knowledge, I don't have any allergies. When people go through it during allergy season and stuff, it's not me. But whatever. I'll roll with it. Let me turn this thing off. We will not be needing this today. There we go. It's your eyes. It was like right between my eyes. And right there in the bridge of my nose. I have some allergy tablets or whatever. I took 2 of them. So, I guess at some point they'll kick in. I'll be alright. Got some cough drops here, and nasal congestion stuff. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Probably won't be here long, but I'm trying to do something, because yesterday I was out. I think it was like 2 or 3 p.m. or something. And I took the stuff and I laid down. Man, I didn't wake up till like midnight. I'm like, you know what? Alright, y'all got me. You got me. We already mixed this down. I like this one. This one's kind of cool. Kind of chill, kind of cool. I think it's because you're like sick, maybe certain parts of your face are like more sensitive, and then the glasses is kind of like irritating. Or are you just in general tired of wearing glasses? I mean, you look pretty cool in glasses. I mean, either or, but keep the glasses. Keep the glasses, that's all I'm saying. This for the most part is a wrap. I like it. But I'll come back and try that stuff out and see what it'll actually give me. And it might be something I'll start adding to my workflow. Yeah, I was trying to get some more practice in. I still got a ways to go. I got like another 6 months. Well, the book is 6 months worth of lessons. I'm trying to teach myself to play jazz, so more so for the different chords and stuff like that. Be able to do more R&B eventually, to get more comfortable moving to like neo soul, stuff like that. But let's see. I think I know what this is. Brain's not even working today. That we were supposed to game all day, fell right asleep. Yeah. Yesterday, you Root, the Root assassin. I'm supposed to be playing with y'all. She wanted to play Path of Exile 2, which I still have a second character I need to get to the end game, and it's her first one, so kind of been showing her the ropes and stuff like that. And because Sunday I had to finish Song of Horror, and then we were supposed to do the Outlast trials and all that. I told her Monday I would do that, and then Monday just went down the drain. I'm like, yeah, I'm out. Goodbye. So here we are today. I'm a little sluggish, but wait, what is today? Tuesday? But we're not gonna talk. We're not gonna talk, all right? It's been a long day. I know it just started, but it's been a long day. I don't even know what day it is right now. It is Tuesday. So wait, Sunday is when I finished up, Sunday I finished up Song of Horror. I got this right. And then Monday, I was supposed to play Path of Exile, because I told her I'd do it tomorrow. And then, like, tomorrow never happened. And I crashed. And now it is Tuesday. And I want to go back to bed. Okay. This one has not been mixed yet. Okay, cool. I've been making so much, and I haven't really taken the time on some of these to sit down and actually finish. I like this one though. I don't think there's necessarily anything I need to add. I do have a couple of little sound effects I can use. Put like little stuff in there is all. The big stuff is pretty much us taken care of. The percussion's in there. The drums are pretty much done the way that I want them. The melody, all that stuff is dope. I like it. I think that's the part I'm most proud about is here, because I got 3 stacked together. It's so smooth. I gotta bounce more of these out. I gotta get them done, and I gotta get these uploaded so I can sell them. I'm getting some lookers running in different Discords and meeting different artists and stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, I'll be uploading some more stuff soon. We're not gonna talk about it, but I need to. Let's go into this one. Drive. It's solo. Good resonance. Nice. Okay, that could work. That makes my ears feel better. This one, do we? Move this stuff out the way. Yes, this one is mixed down. And I didn't bounce this out either, so. Okay. I also didn't fade this out, so. We could at least do that. We might do something like that. Yeah, I can deal with that. You said this sounds way less busy. Oh, because that one I sent you, that was like a reel, Facebook reel I was watching, and I like the voices and all that, but you know, it's someone's camera. It's gonna probably take some work as far as going in there, cutting out a lot of frequencies and stuff because it sounds very open. There are a couple of places where after I listen to it a few times, I could probably take, because I say like the first 20 seconds or so, it's just them, like just the voices before the percussion comes in. So that makes it got a little bit more going on to it. I just don't know how it's gonna work for the part where I want the chorus to come in. Or I'm dubbing that the chorus. I don't know what that actually is in the context of the actual song, but there's like some people just kind of screaming, it's almost like ad lib kind of stuff and whatever. I think even one of those are probably just some random person or whatever was just trying to hype them. So that stuff's like in there, but yeah, there's like nothing I could almost do. I can cut out some of it, but some of it is just like if you're gonna use that, it's there. There's nothing you could do. So I have to like either find a way around, find some kind of way to piece it, or I'm gonna have to do away with it, or find some kind of way to maybe, like I said, go in there and try and turn some frequencies down so certain stuff isn't as loud, but that could potentially affect the voices and stuff as well. So yeah, I'll definitely have to play around with it, but the idea of it is, I like the idea of it. I was like, man, if I can just get that right, and there's no, um, to my knowledge, and I spent about a good hour looking around. There's no like, I don't want to say like a studio recorded version. There's no studio version, so it's just this choir out in South Africa that has taken a song and kind of rearranged this song that they would usually sing, and that's what they do. So there's no they've been in the studio and recorded this or nothing like that. So it's this one, but it's mainly this. So I'm trying to like do stuff to kind of tame it so certain stuff is not reaching out being like higher than the other, but I still need to come in here and try and find stuff. I tried a little bit, but there's certain stuff that could be either cut out, saved, whatever. um I have to work through that, but yeah. So I can get it as good as I could. This isn't mixed or anything, it's just me working on the idea. And I added that little synth bell kind of sound you hear in there. Almost sounds like a music box a little bit, but it's a little. What they did was find a bunch of like antique toys and stuff like that, and then kind of blended them in with synthesizers, so some of them got weird, kind of. And then I can use this stuff on here to change how certain stuff sounds. It's a cool little library, right? You can get lost in something like this. But yeah, at some point I'll come back to it and work on it some more. But when I did it, it was just the idea of it, and I was like, you know what? Trying to get some feedback. Is this a good idea? Before I continue, spend the next who knows how long trying to get that right. Is it worth it? That's what I was trying to figure out. Some stuff's just it's too much. It's like, you know what, the time it will kind of take, and then you might not even get it right. Okay, so we just did this one. Actually, I need to. We could wait. 7. Just like listening to that that real. I was like, man, it sounds so dope. I want to do something with it. I want to do something with it. Yeah, that'd be pretty dope too. What I do like though is I have a few libraries. Um, Shoot, wrong thing. Okay. What I do like is I do have libraries that contain some stuff, right? Which I really like. I just don't use it a lot. So I have a bunch of one shots I can go through, and then I have presets like rhythms that I can scroll through that utilize the one shots. And so there's all kinds of different stuff. It's not like even when they roll, that's just one key I'm holding down, and then it's right. So it sounds more realistic. But I also have like one shots and things as well that I can utilize. And then of course, right, and then I could change tempo, double time, slow it down, whatever. But I got like the actual, like this stuff is crazy. So let's say I don't think it might be. So you can hear some of those in there.
This is another hit Ron production.
You can hear it here. I don't use them as much as I should, but I know they're there. So whenever I could think about it. So yeah, they're nice. And then not just this one, but I have this one. So this is more the Middle East. So there's different stuff here, and it's not just the drums as well. Any instruments that they have. Right, and kind of do that, but also sometimes I have like different instruments and stuff, and so then I get access to those as well. So having that kind of stuff is pretty cool. I'll just say it, there's stuff in here, and I have not. It's fun. It's fun, right? I like all this stuff. It's just there's so much of it. It's impossible to kind of like to go through in short amount of time. So I've been trying to do like a little bit.
Legion of Tunes.
So on top of trying to teach myself to play jazz, like trying to get into more like sevenths and ninths, right? I've also been trying to study different instruments, right? Different musicians, and trying to learn different like techniques and stuff. Cause I'm only on the keyboard, which means yeah, I could pick a bass guitar, but I don't have a bass guitar. But how would a bass guitar play, right? And so I go down rabbit holes just trying to learn how to kind of get things to sound don't worry about me, I'm crazy over here. Drums and all that stuff. It's struggle land over here. With just this one software that I bought, it's it contains like over 144,000 different samples of kick drums, snares, pianos, whatever. There's a ton of stuff in here. I need to go back through the drums more because I do have a drum controller. Got like the 16 pads and all that stuff on there. I just want to, for workflow purposes, to be able to kind of move through, create ideas quickly. I kind of had to sort through all this stuff first. So for now, I'm just doing things the way that I know how to do best. But eventually, we can move to something that's a bit quicker to get those ideas down and hopefully be able to that'll lead to getting more stuff completed versus having more stuff that's incomplete because by the time I finish doing this and doing this and doing this and getting it the way I want it to, I'm tired. And I'm like, I can't think of anything else right now. Like, this is all I hear. So, to be able to hear something in my head and get it down as quickly as possible, and then any other sounds that I hear, the faster I can do it, then the more likely I am to actually finish it. And it makes me mad some days. Not in a bad way. Like a mad scientist kind of way. Uh-oh. So I want to play Avowed. I think it's out now. So you're 30 minutes late. 30 minutes late for what? You got more assignments? Never heard of it. Let's see. Wait, what is that? Why does some... Oh, this looks pretty cool. It's like an interesting RPG. Kind of gives an Elder Scrolls vibe. Yeah, what is... I don't know what's going on here. See, what is... Something about that just doesn't seem... I don't know what I did. Maybe it was in my sleep. I just came over here and was like, you know what? Just mess up the brass. I don't know. But yo, we got Lauren in the building. Appreciate you stopping by. How you doing this morning? I'm very sorry. Not feeling too well today. But I'm here. See, this one you gotta have like a little head gotta nod. Something gotta move with this one. I was telling a friend I gotta probably do some more like beats they use 4 on the floor. That's that drum pattern here. Boom, 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 boom. They call that 4 on the floor right there. Like, you know what? When I use that, I usually do some pretty cool stuff with it. To be honest, it might be more my style. I don't know. It might be more my style there. But I like whatever comes to mind, always jot it down. You never know, right? Sometimes you have an idea that you don't think, you start and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. And later somebody either like, hey, you should do something, and then it just takes off. But I always try and tell people to keep their ideas. Doesn't matter whether you think it's good or not. Like, keep it. Even if you don't plan on using it, keep it. I can go through here and show you 3,000 project files. Are all of them done? No. There's probably like a good 90% that aren't finished, and it's just over time. But they're my ideas, right? At any point I get bored or, have a beat block, whatever, I can go right back to those ideas and be like, you know what? This was actually kind of cool. And then I learned something a year later, which I think I could apply to this, and, you never know. You never know. Some of your best work be the oldest stuff. Be stuff you forgot about. Thank you. So my goal, and it started a while back with the music industry when they came after Twitch and all of that. Basically, what the music industry was wanting to do was, because they see streaming's a big thing, so what they wanted to do is they wanted to make streamers pay for licensing to have access to their catalog, to be able to play the copyrighted music, right, without getting in trouble. And Amazon was like, because Amazon owns Twitch now, it's like, so what if they just use Amazon Music? They made a way where they can embed the player into the stream and all of that. Because it's like, well, they're paying for the service. It's not like they're pirating your music and then just playing it. You know, they have Spotify and stuff like that they pay for. They were not trying to hear that. So apparently, you know, once you fill out that paperwork, affiliate and all that, you're looked at as a business. And any business you go to, right, they have to pay to be able to play that music in their establishment. So what they were trying to do was the same thing with streamers. And that didn't make me feel good at all, because a lot of these people just in their room playing music, and they might be playing games or whatever. But this is no different from every day, right? Their everyday life. And it's like, why all of a sudden does the 10-year-old playing Call of Duty 6 have to pay you? Right? Playing Call of Duty, why does he have to pay you to be able to play Lil Wayne while he's in his bed? Like, I didn't get that. But I made the argument, right? Like, okay, I could see if you went after DJs, because DJs need the music to build their fan base. If a DJ didn't have any records to spin, they wouldn't have any followers. They wouldn't even be DJs, right? So it relies on that. So that made me upset. People were panicking. They were trying to look for music, right, and all that. And that's when I went from just streaming a bunch of horror games and getting good at running past the ugly, nasty monsters and talking all kind of trash, to revealing that to also make music. And so I started a project in which I was going to create some instrumentals people would be able to use for their streams and content on social media, since looks like most of the music industry decided to be a-holes. So I feel like I'm having tons of fun doing this stuff. Yo, look, you see Manimal right there? That's actually a very, 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 I'm sorry for the varies, alright? Old friend, gaming friend of mine, alright? We've known each other since Medal of Honor Allied Assault. If you know when that came out, you're old too, so don't even look at me. So, right? So I've known him for a long, long time. Him and a couple other guys had a clan they put together called Allied Nations. All right, AN was the tag, and they're out of the UK. It was an honor to be able to join them and slaughter people in that game. And I'll say we don't talk very, very often, but we still over the years, we just kept in touch. Got his Facebook and stuff like that. But definitely check him out. He likes to play World of Warcraft and other games. Real cool fella right there. What's it been, like 20 years now, man? I really gotta stop giving up my age. 20 years is a long time. It's a long time, alright? Exactly. They're gonna get their money no matter what. So, if you go and look it up now, they have a program they're trying to force the DJs into, right? So Twitch rolled out this program where now the DJs have to pay, and they're actually going to what's the term I'm looking for? Is it subsidized or whatever? But they're basically gonna eat. Twitch is gonna eat the majority of the cost for them right now, so they don't have to pay as much. But over the course of like the next 2-3 years, they're gonna slowly back off of that until the DJs are paying the full price, whatever the music industry is asking for. And I said, all right, just wait. It's a matter of time. Once they see that this is good and all of that, they're gonna start cracking down on people. They're like, you're not a DJ, you're not paying for this license. Get that music off your channel. I'm telling you right now, I got the eyes of an eagle. I'll be talking 5 years down the line. They was laughing in 2022, weren't they? They laughed at Noah too, and then it started raining. Let's go. Yeah, I wanna be able to I wanna be able to make things that are a bit less energetic, right? So like I was saying earlier, be able to do more like R&B and then into neo soul, but there's stuff I gotta learn. So work with me as we go through that. In the meantime, I can do like mid high energy kind of stuff. I'll get those out. I think I got like 30, 35 right now. They're older, right? Some stuff when life was happening. So I was gone for a minute, but I was doing a lot of learning too. So my coworkers kind of helped me out with that. Getting into B Club kind of helped too. I made some really cool friends from there. I got to learn a lot as well. And that what I learned in B Club kind of accelerated me. So I got in there, but I wasn't in there with the mindset of, yeah, I'm gonna get in here with these raggedy beats that I have, and I'm gonna become a millionaire. But I felt like I was gonna get in there, and then I just want to utilize all the resources, right, that I could. And so by getting in there and networking with people who are actually like doing this for a living and making money and stuff like that, letting them know where I was trying to get to and what it would take, so at least I knew what I needed to work on. That's kind of been the biggest thing. And now, as I start to hear things, it starts to click, right? Right? I could even take that and I could like transpose it. So once I started like learning all little tricks and stuff like that, or to be able to take that and then kind of transpose that or what would it be? I lost it already. Right? So to be able to take that same movement and then just take it into another key. And so now you got a chord progression that sounds different, and it doesn't sound, because everybody's, come on man, this is right here. It's been used over and over and over. It's a popular R&B chord progression, yes, but the thing you want to do is kind of make it your own, and it's kind of hard to make it your own if you just 1 7 3 2 5 1. It's a little different, but if you start playing around with it long enough, why does the 7 have to be your dominant? It could be a minor, right? So then we can go to the 3, right? 2 5 1. See, then once you start kind of making it your own thing, then you start coming up with cool stuff, and you're like, you know what? It sounds familiar, but it's different at the same time. part right here. Brass. It's 100% free advertising, and they want you to pay. Exactly. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. But they're gonna squeeze themselves into a trap. Of course, the people who are making their money, right, doing their streaming, the big content creators, they're gonna have that money. Right, when they finally decide that they're gonna implement that across the board, they're messing with Twitch because Twitch is the big guy, right? You knock down the big guy. Which one of the little guys want to test you, right? Right, so they're gonna find a way, anyway. They're gonna keep stabbing at it till they get something, right? Don't even care what it is, as long as they get something, because now they can spread that around. And they can go to every streaming platform and say, "This is what it is," and whatever. It's like winning a lawsuit, right? At the highest level of the court, right? You can now use that as an example, right? If you go through the same thing and be like, "Well, this case was already won because blah blah blah," right? And you'll win. There's no going around it. So they're working on that, and those who make enough will pay for it, because they're going to want to keep playing the music that people love and that they love, whatever. Nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, it's kind of messed up. And again, that's the music industry for you. That's the music industry for you.
Legion of Tunes.
And again, it's definitely going to take some time. Musically, this is, what's it been, like 20 years or so? And Manimal there could tell you. I used to be an artist, alright? Yes, I used to rap. Till around from like early 2000s to about 2008. I wrote like my last one, but for me, it wasn't anything I would say necessarily wrong, right? I didn't feel like I couldn't do anything. I just started falling in love with all the work that gets done behind the scenes, right? The mixing and, you know, putting the beats together and stuff like that. And so it's been a long journey from that point where I stopped. I mean, I was kind of making my own beats then, but I wasn't like too focused on like how to get them to sound real good and all that stuff. It was just more me having fun, and then it started to get serious for me. I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to make this, do this, and all of that. So I didn't have the pleasure of, you know, a music education or anything like that. It was just more, it was just more or less of the passion of being able to do that. Like, what does this knob do? What does that do? Okay, yeah, okay, I like the way that sounds. And just a long time of doing stuff and then not doing stuff. And doing stuff and not doing stuff. And the one thing I can say throughout all that time that has passed, one thing I keep coming back to is this. So, alright, at least I know what I'm here for. We'll stay on that road. Any way I could be involved, I'm there. You still have that get used to it? Nah, man. Throw it away. I still have it somewhere. My cousin, what was it? I think I was 19 at the time, not him. But he was having a birthday party, and I'm pretty much like the family DJ, so I'm like packing my computer, my external hard drive, everything, go to his house. I had all my games and stuff on there and all that, and I get there and they're all playing dominoes. And I got my laptop sitting on the table. It was one of the more stupider things I did, right? So he goes and they're playing, and he's like, "Yeah, give me 10." He's like, wham! He slams it on the table, and you just watch in slow mo. My external just tilted and then fell off the table and just crashed. Bam! I just see like bits and pieces like from the casing and all. I'm like, ah. He's like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry." I was like, I was trying to keep cool, but I was crying inside because at that time, like, I stopped writing stuff down on paper. I had a whole bunch of like poetry, and I had a whole bunch of verses for like my songs, and I had a whole bunch of like music that I made we hadn't recorded to before we put out that mixtape. Man, I had at least 70 songs. The mixtape ain't close. And then my brother had like another 60 or 70. And then from what we made, I just basically went like, here's one of mine, here's one of yours, here's one of mine, here's one of yours. And then try to get them with different people we had on, like features and stuff like that as well. So maybe you have like 10 from me out of like 60 or 70 that I made. Gone. Non-recoverable. Man, you want to talk about sick to the stomach. I was like, it's all gone. All the stuff that I had like written, all of that stuff I had in there, you can't even go back and be like, hey, yeah, backed out. It's gone. It's gone. Let's go in here. But yeah, for some reason, I still have the mixtape that was put out, but thinking about that makes me so, because there was stuff that I really liked, but just for the vibe of the mixtape, I didn't put it on there because we just wanted it to be a certain way. So we just had like what just felt like it was consistent all the way through, right? The type of beats and all, it was just consistent. And that's all I got. That's all I got now. The other like little diss tracks that I had and stuff like that, they're gone. They're gone. Not that I want to reminisce on that, but I'm just saying, cause I had some crazy stuff. I still got like the beats for a lot of it, cause I still have the files. If anything, I can go back. You can see that I have files from like 2004, 2006, stuff like that. I can show you that, but I don't have the lyrics anymore. I don't have those recordings. I know recently I had posted on Twitter. I found a photo of my very first like music setup. And so I had the computer, and I had the computer desk that had like 3 levels going vertically. I had like records, um hanging around the room, and then the monitor was like one of those old CRT monitors. I was like, you know, this is old. Nobody's using CRT monitors anymore. We all got LCD, LED, right? We got flat screen. Like, no one has this big box of a monitor anymore. But that's what it was. But a lot of that equipment I just threw away recently. So like the keyboard that I had, which actually I still have that in my closet. The small like 3-4 inch monitor speakers, the interface, all of that. I had that from like back then to just a couple years ago. I upgraded, got a whole bunch of new stuff. Just want to say that stuff is strong. It lasted that long. Wait, what is this? I don't think this made it out of the idea phase. Yeah, I got a ton of. We'll actually have names for these beats this time around. All of this is original, even though the voices you hear, they're contact libraries. So you guys don't have to worry about getting hit with, copyright, DMC takedown requests or none of that stuff. This is all original stuff. It contains no copyright samples in this stuff. It is possible, but it kind of depends on the damage. So if you have, say the hard drive failed and the issue is mechanical, then yeah, it's very cheap, right? You buy another drive, they can plug something in the back, right? And then they can just transfer everything over into the new one and you're good to go. If it's deeper than that, right? If the damage went and actually started like messing up some stuff, right? Like deep, then it's possible, but that involves like a clean room and all that. And I remember back then when I was looking at that stuff, they were like trying to charge, what was it, $200, I think. It was $200 per megabyte. Yeah. $200 per megabyte. They were not playing about that. So if you think about it, right, that can get out of control really quick as far as money's concerned. And they might not even be able to get the stuff that you're asking for, right? Hey, see, stuff like this is cool, right? Because you can always, just for, let's see, where is it? This is why I do this, all right? See, I can create something and I can say, you know what, I like this. And then I could just, we could change the pitch. And we we could create our own samples, right? Yeah, stuff like that. So I know there's a lot of people that create the like construction kits or the loop kits now, and I feel like I want to be a part of that gang. Maybe not. So maybe what I'll do is, we learn the secrets. I don't know if there's actual secrets, but we learn how to play. All right, we become good at what we do. Right? Right? Then we could take stuff that we recorded, and then we could change the pitch, and we can tweak it and do all kind of stuff with it, right? And the next thing you know, they don't know where it came from. They just know it sounds familiar, right? Cause could I ask you if you're dreaming? Whoops. See, they don't understand it. They don't understand what I'm trying to do. Oops. Then it comes up. Whatever, right? And we build like a little bridge and all that stuff. I think there was a video I was watching, and this chick was like, she was like, music is dead, R&B music is dead. They killed it. There's no bridge anymore. Like there's no, and she was just like, she was low key, just kind of going off, right? You could tell she wanted to be like, the hell are y'all doing? But she didn't, right? She was cool, but I felt the energy, right? It was that drag of just like having to hear the same thing. I was like, you know what? You're onto something, right? So, where's the change ups? When you're listening to songs like that, right? If it's not like a rap song or whatever, and you're listening to like R&B or like pop or anything, like where are the bridges? Right? It's like people metaphorically like just burned. It's like it doesn't exist anymore. But we're trying to add them in there, right? It's one of those things I'm working on, right? We need more of that. So how could we do it in a way where it's still kind of cool to do it, And then, but I'm learning. I'm learning. So it's a lot to take in. But one day it'll pay off. And then I won't have to think about it anymore. I was like, oh yeah, we're creating what now? Okay, yeah, easy. Okay, just watch this. Boom. You like it or not? What do you want to change about it? I ain't gonna lie. Like I live in the past. I'll tell you that right now. Like for maybe like depending on what we're talking about, from like the 60s up to like the early 2000s. And then after that, my, as far as like what I'll listen to is just spotty. There's no there's no consistency in it. You're like, yeah, I really like this song, but I didn't really care for the artist, like kind of thing. It's just like it was a good song here and there, and all right, cool, but nothing that made me go like, they're so consistent. I just gotta like go and it. I never got that. After like the early 2000s, that's it. For me, it kind of fell off, and I've just been whatever. That's where I live. So, like R&B and soul and hip hop and all that stuff. That's me. Now, beyond that, like I said, there are some things, but I don't get excited about that stuff no more. Just what are you saying? Like, what is the purpose of this? That's what I'd be wanting to know. Like, what's the purpose? All right, cool. The beat's kind of nice, but what's the purpose of this song? Like, and then there's that too. Maybe I'm just old, but I can't connect with half the stuff. I'm like, really? Oh, yeah, cause I don't. No, we're okay. We're okay. Hold on, let me really quickly here. If I could. Wait, what? Oh, that was all messed up. Uh, okay. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, can't move it. It's still trying to load. Oh, I know what this is. I know what this is, and I had an idea for this. Where I don't know, but it sounds really good. Let's rap hip hop music wise. Only stuff I listen to is the same stuff we listen to. That's my thing, right? There's some newer stuff I'll listen to, but I'm not, especially as someone who used to do rap myself, right? Who still does poetry, right? All that stuff y'all talking about punchlines are really metaphors and similes, and there's so many different techniques that you can use in writing that just go above people's heads or in one ear and out the other, and they don't realize what just transpired there, right? It right now it's kind of like it's kind of like doing things without very good reason. It's just because somebody else did it, or saying something because somebody else said something, or agreeing with it because someone else agreed with it, right? And there's no real art in it. It's art, but it's somebody else's art, right? I saw a video, right, and it's funny how like everyone's like, what, especially, and we're just gonna have a really good time with this one, right? So the whole Kendrick Drake thing, right? And people are like, well, why do we have to, choose and this and that? You don't have to. You could stay asleep, go back to sleep, and don't stay out of the conversation. Stay out of the grown folks conversation, right? But to sit here and say like somebody wouldn't be somebody or wouldn't be noticed or doesn't have any hits when they have a ton of them before those two even came together to do anything, right? Number two, for one artist who's writing, right, is so damn good. This dude got a Pulitzer, all right? For you to have these things just stacked up and for that not to click as far as what that means as to one's abilities or prowess, I will never understand it. I will never understand it. So you mean to tell me you're just gonna say that this person better because somebody else said it, because somebody else agreed, right? We're trying to talk about accolades and people want to post numbers and all that, and it's like, okay, so when it comes to this person, how come the accomplishments don't mean anything now, right? Right? How come it don't mean anything? And so it's crazy, and everybody they're like copying one another, and there's no the unique characters in the world are being kind of like pushed away, and it's all about the clones. Welcome to the Clone Wars. So there was a video, and it was like DJ Mustard made a hit with Not Like Us, but it's not the only hit. He's used to making hits, and they start running through his, like, a bit of his catalog as far as, like, beats that he made and what songs those beats are too, right? So it starts playing, and it's like, I started to notice, right? Every one of his beats, you could tell it's his beat, right? The tempo he likes to use, the type of sounds, the rhythms, the cadences, right? Across all the beats that were being played, you notice something. And that's a signature, right? It's there for every artist. Every great artist has a signature. I don't care. We're talking about a artist like a painter, right? It doesn't matter. There's always some kind of signature that they leave, and that's a problem, right? That's a problem when you're listening to somebody and they have no signature, or their signature is somebody else's signature, right? Like, why are we stealing signatures? Your signature should be different from my signature. Our two signatures should not match, right? The way I write, my A's should not be the exact way you write it. We should not be moving the same exact, right? Like to a T. We shouldn't be doing that. But somehow, this is okay in music now. It's okay to just take the signature of somebody and sign your track off with it. And I don't like it. I don't like it, and that's probably why there's a lot of music I'd rather not hear. It's like, okay, I have the artist that does that, and then the rest of y'all are copies. Why I want to go listen to a copy when I can just hear the original, right? Like, what's the point of going to check this person out when they sound just like this person, right? Same thing with beats. I don't mind. There's a lot of good sounding beats out there. But a lot of those beats, people are taking somebody else's signature and they're just throwing it all over their work. They're just like, I'm gonna make a beat like this, and they're just gonna basically copy it with some twists here and there. Um, I had the pleasure of watching that actually go down in real life. Um, that was not the best feeling for me. I was like, really? Do I really want to continue this network at this point? Do I really want to continue this? Um, but it's crazy the amount of people that are doing things, which I don't have a problem with people doing things, right? We gotta do things. Action, take action. But when it involves like copying, that's where I kind of draw the line, right? It's like you do you, but that ain't me, right? When I make my music, you expect certain things. I try and leave a signature, right? There's a certain style, there's a certain thing I like to do, there's certain sounds that I like, there's certain tempo ranges, there's certain, rhythms that I like, and I don't care to try and sound or replicate anything else. If it didn't come from me, if it didn't come from me, I don't care, right? So listening that video just kind of reinforced that, right? And when you start talking about other great producers or songwriters or whatever, they have a signature. You can tell it's theirs, right? You go, oh, okay, yeah, I did. It did kind of remind me of, and then you find out it was that it's a signature. A lot of people don't have that. They don't have it. They just go, I want to make a dance track. Who's popular right now with dance tracks? Oh, is it Drake? Oh, okay, yeah. You can call me on my, I don't know, video camera. They'll just change it up a little bit to like tweak it. You're like, but that's the same thing as I could just go listen to this. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's crazy, and it's like when somebody comes out, it's like actually they're doing their own thing. They're doing their own thing. It might take them a little longer. They're doing their own thing. People are following them. They like the work that person's doing, and then to like try and dismiss it because it ain't the clone. It's not. We gotta hear some clones, right? Whatever. You can get out of here with that one. Artists back in the day, at least, again, the 80s, 90s, whatever, everyone was a little different. They had their own little thing going on. They weren't trying to listen to like who is the best and go, oh, okay, he's rapping on beats like that. I need to go find those. And then I'm gonna, I kind of like the way his ad lib sounds, so I'm gonna go. Like, you can give people credit for what they do, their props, and still do you. You can still do you. You can still make money, right? But I guess if you're trying to fight to be the number one spot, then you kind of gotta. It's kind of what you gotta do. No. No. And so, what happens, I know I kind of went off track there a little bit, maybe just a little bit, but what happens is people just start saying and doing things because it's what they heard, right? Or they're doing things because the track got number one, so it must be the cool thing to do or say. And people start adding this or start writing like a certain type of way, but the message is being lost because they don't even know why a certain thing was done or how it started or nothing like that. So then they start saying things, and the next thing you know, you're like, what did you mean by this? And it's like there's like a 7-minute explanation for something that probably should take like 10 seconds to explain. Why does that sound? Something's off. is this? That's crazy. I was like, something don't sound right here. It's either this noise up here or okay, it's like, what is that? So here's an idea here. Yeah, but put it like this. If I was going to write a poem right now, right, and I was gonna call it let's just call it the a star in a dark sky or something, right? There would be a reason for that, right? And as I'm writing, I can now take as many lines as I need to kind of explain what a star in the dark sky is without having to explain it. Does that make sense? So I come in with all the words I can muster, right? Adjectives and, being creative with the lines and using similes and metaphors and all these different things, right? I can come in here, I can use this and paint a picture of a star in the dark sky, right? By the time you finish reading it, you know what that star was to represent and what that dark sky was to represent, right? You know what that's to represent. The music that's coming out now, because everybody just wants to steal the vibe of it, right? Oh, we gotta have this cool dance track. It needs to have like a groove like this. It needs to bounce. You get that part right. And then when it comes to the writing, there ain't nobody to take from, right? So then you're saying stuff. It sounds good, but you can't put it together. It doesn't. A lot of this stuff doesn't go with your song, with your title. It doesn't represent it. It's just a bunch of random songs. I mean, a bunch of random lines or thoughts, right? So you got up in the morning, you ate some breakfast, and the next thing you know, his next bar is like afternoon time. You're like, wait, what? So then what happened like after you, it's just random. And they're skipping, jumping, and by the time it's done, you're asking them like, oh, what was the message in the song? And they're like, just be cool and and it's like, nah, that ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna sit there for 5 minutes just to hear you say the message in this song was to be cool. There's a lot of not cool shit in this. Like you can tell people just they didn't even think about it. They didn't even think about it, right? And that's what happens when you start cloning, when you start copying because somebody else, then when you get checked about it, you can't answer, right? One of the really big examples are like gang members. You got people going around, they can look the part, right? They can wear the colors, they can remember to put the flag on one side, they can do all that. And then you come up and you go, hey man, what's blah, 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 right? Like this is somebody who's actually out here, comes and asks them, and they're like, don't know what to say. Okay, at this point, it's fate, right? At this point, run for it and don't come back, because it's a wrap for you. Next time they see you, then I'm like, you ain't what you claiming, and you out here acting like you one of us, right? No. That's what it's like in rap. And there's a bunch of them, and it's okay to do this for some reason, right? So the whole thing with Kendrick and Drake, while it's a big deal, it's like, you just come over here, you're a clone, right? You're saying this or doing this, and then when we ask you what's this behind it, you can't give us nothing, or you just got some BS that you throw up there, right? You're not out here trying to send out no messages, right? You ain't out here trying to teach people. You're not out here even trying to feed minds. You're just saying stuff because it sounds cool. You out here waving stuff around because it sounds cool. Anywhere else, right? If I went out and just started sounding like that, you know how many people would just trying to run up just to come see if that's what, hey, look, for different people, I don't know, they get away with it. Some people don't. But he got checked. it's a clone. It's a clone. No depth, no real messages, no nothing, right? And in the event he does get something that has something of a message to it, it ain't that deep. It's not that deep. So he's in a position where, to be honest, just keep, you already been exposed. So whatever you're gonna do at this point, do it. And you don't need to bark up any trees, but this puts a lot of people on notice now. Right? Everybody coming here trying to like clone and sound like so and so, and it's over. It's over for y'all. People are gonna start hearing that and be like, okay, yeah, but this ain't deep. Right? This ain't having me like pick my mind apart on what you just said. Right? Like this is essentially low vibrational. There's nothing here, right? It's empty. It doesn't feed the soul. I'm just watching it. But that's what the music industry pushes, right? They find the stuff that has no depth, that has no real meaning, that's random, right? Even the people that they may lean on to sometimes to help them write their music, right? Certain ones cool, but certain ones like you don't even know of. You're like, what is this? But it is what it is, right? Music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you can actually listen to that music. It's good. You like the rapper, the beat, the vibe, and all that, and then the message they send out, they're actually good storytellers, right? That's what the music industry stopped, which is why it changed, right? You can go back and listen to old like Earth, Wind, and Fire. You can get messages out of every song. Every song. Didn't have to have any fancy words or nothing like that, but there was a message in the title. You listen to the song, everything clicks together. You can tell they thought about it. Can't tell that anymore. Can't tell that about the songs anymore. They'll just go, oh, we'll just call it Spaceships. And there's maybe 2 lines referring to something you could maybe see as it being referred to a spaceship, and the rest of it is just random BS. Can't be the only one. This one I need to finish right here. I actually like this. Also, don't mind my being sick. That was a bad cough. Felt like it was kind of stuck. I think this is the one that Josh liked a lot. So this came out of wait, is that the where was it? This came out of a construction kit. I got a hold of a bunch of kits for Black Friday. So a lot of people were looking for TVs and stuff like that. And I was just like, I make music, I need more sounds. So I started trying to see if there was like any sales on like drum kits and stuff like that. And that's how I ended up with this. This is from Beat Club, hence the BC. So got a whole bunch of stuff there. But all of this is like 30 gigs, and there are different drums. I got some contact libraries and stuff as well. And then I got like little construction kits, so they're right. I can even go in here and I got the stems. So let's say I just like I don't know, the piano, which looks like it might take a while to get to. I like that. Jeez, can I skip over? Does it? No. Okay, so it's gonna take a while to get to them, but I have the individual stems to them, so it's like if I just like certain things, I can use that instead. If I want to chop this stuff and whatever, I have not just the right, not just the one file, but I have like every single part of it that made it come together to be what it is. And so I had this, and then so you can hear all those like different parts. But to come in here, right? So we got different cuts. So I have that one part kind of playing twice, then it switches, right? So rearranging this so it's a little different. Then it comes back. And then we get right here, broke it up into smaller pieces. Excuse me. Why does it just feel like it's just stuck in there? And then right here it changed a little bit, right? So I like that. And then I think it's here. So here again. And I like having complete. I finally made the upgrade to the collector's edition, but right, so even all of the percussion, right, down to the like different loops and stuff like that. So I can actually come in here and like if I hear something, I can come here and right? I can come in here and do what I want to with it, right? Or I can say like, what's that guy? What's it sound like? Does that sound like it works? Does that sound like it works? I could kind of tap into that stuff. And even though I talk about the percussion quite a bit, actually about the probably the biggest thing that I like about this is all of the guitars. So, number one, back end is extensive. EQs, cabinets, all that stuff. It's crazy. You can go in here and just go crazy with it. But apart from that, being able to have something that will actually mimic having the actual instrument, right, is what makes these things so expensive but so worth it. Because if I wanted to play, there's like a melody I was hearing. Let's say I had like a guitar melody I'm hearing. This is, doing all kinds of, slides or different, strumming patterns or whatever, you're not pulling that off on a keyboard. You might be able to get away with some of the stuff. Oh, it crashed. It crashed. You crashed my computer. No. Um, Probably this. I don't think it's gonna keep loading. Oh, it's loading. All right, so let it do its thing. Maybe it's like a warning. It looked like it crashed. But again, to have it kind of mimic the stuff that you can't do with a keyboard is why it's so good. So you can play, right? And there's certain things that it's able to reproduce based on the expressive technology. But I said when it comes to like string sliding and just different stuff like that, the way that these libraries are able to do it is better than what a lot of people are using right now. And the reason why I say that is because two of the biggest places are Splice, right, and Arcade. And so you can go in there, you can look for a guitar or a piano or whatever, right? And they have these loops that people have made that you can download or whatever, and you pay for the service. So, yeah, it crashed. I'm like, okay, it should change soon. Here, let's that end it. And so you could get it. Say you find like a guitar loop somebody created in E minor, okay? And you're like, I like that melody, but you wish that melody was played like differently, right? There's nothing you can do with that unless you're gonna find the person or something and be like, will you be willing to replay that but like this? And hopefully they're willing to do it and not charge you extra for it or something like that, right? Um to actually to actually have this thing where I could search by rhythm, find the rhythm, and there's like hundreds, find the rhythm that I like, and then I can manipulate at least the key or the chords that are being played, right? So it's not like time stretching, right? We're not warping the sound. It's just being played in that key the way that I want it to. Do you know how much time that took? That's like saying, basically they went in there and said, okay, we're gonna do a major seven, but we're gonna do this major seven in all 12 keys, and then we're also going to play the inversions of all of these as well. Like, do you know how long that takes? And then, oh, we're gonna do minor. Like, this still got to be perfect too. So if they're messing up and all, that's like a re-record. So to actually put all that in there, and then it's not just doing the chords, but it's also doing the rhythms, right? So then think of how long this took to put this together. So not just the quality of it, but then how long it took to put all that stuff together so that someone like me who has access to not an electric guitar could sit here and get something that sounds exactly like one, right? And then find something that I like and throw that into my music and carry on from there is nuts. So it's one of those things where like I had to have it. I had to have it because there's for me, I'll hear something and I want it that way. But if I use arcade or splice, right, and I go, okay, my track is in F minor, and then I go to find, like 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna find it. Now you might find something else that might work, but it's not going to be what you thought. The fact that I can go in here and make it exactly what I thought is off the wall. Even down to being able to create your own rhythms within this library. So you don't have to stick with, right? Right? You can even go and change this. Right? So we have all the different, all these different ways you can do it. You're not getting that sound out of a keyboard. I don't care how good of a player you are, right? It's just the way that those strings are, right, done, and the movement that guitar player has to play. You can't do that on a keyboard. So to be able to actually and I can switch through these, touch of a button. Not to mention, like I said, in the back end, all of these are rhythms. These aren't sounds, these are rhythms. So you could just click one. So let's find see if we can find something that's got a. That'd be kind of hard to pull off, right? I don't know why it keeps. Here, let's try this. Whoops. Okay, let's stop it. It's like I'm trying to scroll up, but it keeps bringing it down. Just gotta hit play and then stop it. Okay, so let's try going down more. Trying to find something that's got like a obvious. But there's different stuff like that, right? Oh, that's crazy. Here, stop it. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. Let's just say we wanted this, right? We can use this. I can now. Which one is it? I can hold this down and push a key. Switch the key. Right? I have different voicings, so it'll play the notes in a certain order. Or I can go to as played, which means it's on me. So if I want to hold down C, F, and G, right? Then it's only gonna play C, F, and G, right? But I get to choose the rhythm, or I can create, right? You can literally come in here and where is it at? Allow you to create your own, right? Because it's following this stuff here, right? So it's actually following this, and you can create your own thing, the tempo and everything, right? Right? This is stuff you're not going to get just trying to. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna pull it off, right? That is insane. So to be able to actually do that stuff is cool. And so this is just the electric, but I have ones for like acoustic and all of that stuff as well. Like this stuff is crazy right here. It's crazy. So See, let's say you want to do the picked acoustic, and notice you can either choose the one that just contains the rhythms, right? Or you can do it where it's melodic. So I can come in here if I want to play individual notes, right? Right, so I can do stuff like that, right? Right, I could play that out myself, or you could just come in and you could pick something. And you can scroll through here, find some stuff that you like. Here we go. That's the rhythm of the year. And so we can whatever, right? Let me see, because it got the voicing. Voicing one is root 5th octave in the 10th. So basically, it would be C, G, C, and then E. It's that, but in this rhythm. But again, I can change that voicing. Sometimes the way the voicings are, you're trying to play a minor, but since it's playing a certain way, that might actually be playing a major, right? And that's not what you want. So in some cases, you just gotta bite the bullet and say, okay, we'll do it this way. So I'm only holding down C, so it's only playing C, but in the rhythm that I want. Now I can hold down G. Now it's playing C and G in the rhythm that I want. Let's hold down that other C, right? Right? And so we could build this ourselves. So, what is it? 5th, and then the 3rd. So we can use the minor 3rd. Right? So now we're not using the major 3rd. We're using the minor 3rd. In that same way. Right? So the way that I actually have the notes down, it'll attempt to play it in that way, which is dope. Now, if I try and play the chords the way I would normally play on a piano, you might get something that sounds nasty like this, right? Because the way the strings are set up. So it's always different, right? So you gotta make it more open, but you could do all that stuff. And let's see, we want to do this. We could do here, 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 and here. Okay, so all right, so now we can kind of get that stuff that we wanted, right? And so you could build your entire progression now on a rhythm that you like, and in a way, because on your keyboard, you can't get the strings to do that. You can't get your piano keys to do that. I could sing to that rhythm of the year. Let's go. Leonor in the building. Appreciate you stopping by, man. How you doing this afternoon? As you can tell, I'm a little sick here, but we're all right. But yeah, it's just you have so many different options for things, and again, this isn't stuff that I can just play. Thank you, 140 tempo. Yeah? How you gonna mimic that on a keyboard? Just someone explain it to me so I could sell this. Alright? Because I don't need it if I can mimic it. But with this I can, right? Man, all I can say is that I have fun putting this stuff together. It just makes me, the more creative I could be, the better off I am. Better off I am. And I like it. I wouldn't have it any other way, which is why I paid the money that I did, because I needed it, right? Voices, choirs, uh, cinematic drums and effects and all that. Some people will probably look and be like, oh, I don't need that. And the next thing you know, they're like, how do I get that sound? What type of sound is it? And you're like, well, it's this. Ah, oh, man, if I had something like that, you just passed it. Oh, man. But yeah, as I say, you can never have too many sounds, and it shows. At least for me, it shows. So, that one folder I showed you, that's about 30 gigs. I had another folder that's maybe about 20 years old. It's about another 10, 15 gigs. Um, and those are just like the WAV files that I have. That doesn't include the VSTs, right? Complete and everything that came with it. When I got the collector's edition, 1.5 terabytes. Just sit on that for a minute. 1.5 terabytes is how large Complete 14, the collector's edition, is. It's a lot. You get a lot. More than you know what to do with. More than you'll ever need. Not to make light of everything else that comes with it. Effects, equalizers, compressors, it's all top notch. I don't use them, but they're there. Right? Um it's crazy. And then when I got my new mixing plugins from UAD, the pack I bought came with some VSTs as well. So this is their electric. It sounds so good. And then again, you get access to like all this stuff. So all the different pedals and things like that. So again, you might hear it and be like, oh, that's just, a sound, whatever. Then you actually get it and you're like, yo, do you know how much all this would cost together? Do you know how much it's gonna cost to get this pedal, this pedal? Like, the more you start looking at all the stuff that you're getting that comes packed in it, the more you start realizing it could have been more, right? It could have been more. So to be able to come in here and have all these controls digitally, right? They're modeled after like the actual thing, right? So being able to have all of these things, options, right? So you're not just stuck with these three pedals. You have other pedals here as well. So to be able to come in here and change things, change the way the mics sit. Oh, I want the mic to be, to be further. Is it this one? So we can change the way these mics sit. That's gonna change the way this sounds. Okay, that's gonna change the quality that you're getting. right? There's so much stuff in here to actually have all of that equipment sitting in your room. First of all, would you have the space? Second of all, how much money is it going to cost you to get all these different mics? And then they'll have it up there and they'll be like, this plugin is $150. And people are like, I don't need that. I'll just buy this $2 plugin. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Look at all this stuff you have access and control to, right? All of it. All of it. Go ahead and try and buy this amplifier. Go ahead. It ain't $2, I promise you. But, right, if you put the money in, you're going to get what you pay for and some. The only reason why you don't have to pay as much and like thousands of dollars and stuff like that anymore is because it's digital now, right? You don't have to worry about actually owning the physical piece of gear. So sometimes you gotta look at some things, like listen to how it sounds, and be like, so what's that gonna cost me to get like an actual instrument like that? Do the math. You start looking at it and you go, okay, I saved $600 by, and you go, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit away every day. I don't care if it takes me 3 months, and I'm gonna buy this thing eventually because once I have it, it's mine. I own it. I don't need another one like this unless I feel like another one does something better. That it's just that's how it works. Is it's just the way a lot of this stuff sounds. And of course, you can change stuff here, right? So you can kind of tailor and get down to what it is that you're looking for. Right? So you have all the, here, I could even make this bigger for you. So you can see all the different things that you can mess around with here, all the settings. It's modeled after the actual instrument, right? So you want a V3 organ in your room. It's probably gonna take up a lot of space, right? At the same time, and at the same time, right? You can just wrong one. So let's see. So cool stuff to have, and can't do that on keyboard. You can get it to play and hold the note, but you can't get it to do that, right? That's where the expressive technology comes in, but you're gonna pay for it. Some people are just like, hey, I can't do that, and I get it. I truly do. I was there at one point, but always kept my eye on the prize because there's nothing like. I don't see it, so let's make it. Bam! Now it has a growl to it. And I could always. Is that the one? No. Is it lower? Is it farther? Here it is. It's way down here. Okay, so I can get different expressions out of it. That's got the vibrato. Right, so I could just be playing. Let's say we switch to this one. Wait, it's this one. And you can actually do this like as you're playing. You can mess with these different key switches and get them to play different articulations and stuff like that. So the one thing I was really excited for, but then let down, was their choir library, because I thought it was like a word builder built into it. Not quite, but it allows you to take different phrases. Where is it? So these are all their presets. From alto, soprano, tenor, right? They have all of that. They have preset phrases and stuff like that. But you could also go in within the back end. So let's load this. But it sounds so good. And then the back end, you can control the miking, whether the voices are closer, further, the reverb and stuff like that to it. You could even choose whether to have it done by key switch, basically. So you can control each piece by hitting a certain key as you're playing, or you can have it do in sequence where it will relay all of the stuff that you've chosen back to you, and then you can use either, you can make like a line, I think a plus or an X, right? And that kind of tells the system how to run the phrases together or when. You can choose whether you want them to, be a quarter note or an eighth note or whatever. So you can literally go in here and kind of create your own phrases if you want to as well. I don't think they necessarily mean anything, since they are just a bunch of phrases kind of strung together. But if you do it correctly, I guess you can get something that sounds kind of like, make somebody want to ask you what they said, right? Give us this time. This library alone is 100 gigs. Yeah, think about that for a second. But that's how I got this. Even that violin, like, I got so much stuff that was meant for like cinematic stuff, and I just went, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing with it. I don't care what it's meant for. I'm gonna do my own thing with it. Like I said, put the stuff out. It's going to contain 0 samples. Y'all have nothing to fear. So here it is, right? Oh, let's reset this. So I can hold down note. And so you can see here, right? I could play chords. Right? Which is dope. You can come in here to the back end. So we hit this little icon here. And here is where you can select, right? Syllables or phrases here. Okay, so we can just randomly come in here. I don't know. We're just gonna here, right? You can choose the duration. Okay, so you can set all that stuff up if you want them to be shorter or whatever. So you can get it to kind of tweak it to kind of say what you want it to in the way that you want it to, right? But it's not a word builder, which I was hoping, right? Where I could just kind of type in what I wanted it to say and then manipulate the rest of this stuff, because that would have been crazy. But this is what we got. So, but it's nice. It's nice to have, and I make no complaints about it. Other than why are you 100 gigs? But yeah, there's stuff in here that cancel. There we go. There's stuff in here that like I'm still telling myself like you have this. You need to do something with this. And I try to show all of the stuff some love, but some of this stuff, man, I don't think I'm ever gonna really get to, just because there's so much of it. There's so much of it. Sometimes I'll get bored and I'll just open up one of the libraries. There'll be anywhere from 50 to like 200 presets or something, and just start scrolling through and going, do I like the way this sounds? Okay, and then there's like a little star to the right of it, and I hit it for like that's my favorite, and I can always recall the favorites. So it's like at least once I get through them, all I gotta do is if I ever pull one up or something like that, I could just hit favorites, and immediately I have sounds that I know that I like that are in here. Now does it fit for what I'm trying to do, right? But at 144,000 different sounds, like I said, it's gonna take a while. So be patient. Sometimes me finding the right sound takes a little time, because it's definitely time consuming. And I try to, at least in the beginning, I'll start with like a piano. I get all my melodies, so I start with a piano. Then we'll go from there. But after that, like trying to find what to replace it with or to start with becomes a whole nother game that I can get lost into. But it's also not bad, right? Because once I find them, it's over.
Legion of Tools.
I like this one because the melody, right? That melody never changes, but it's everything else that's supporting it. Mainly like the percussive sounds and stuff that are constantly rotating in and out, right? So certain ones that just make me proud. I know some of these back here need to pack it up here in a little bit. Like, did we? Okay. All right, what's this? This has that. See what I'm saying? See how some of this stuff just comes in handy you don't think you would need, and then next thing you know, it just comes in handy. Let's see. There it is. This is pretty much all it was missing. Oops. But I don't know if I want this in the entire, like, going out through. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I definitely want it in the chorus right here. You can, right? We can have a little slide. Yeah, see, sometimes it's just. I got a lot of stuff that I gotta get done so I can get put out, because this project that I'm working on, this playlist that I'm going to be making, is going to contain 100, yeah, not one, not 10, but 100 instrumentals. I did the math. Should give you somewhere from like 6.5 to 8 hours. It's not gonna cover your 24-hour streams. However, it should cover a good portion, and that's if you like just play through all of it, right? I honestly don't expect anyone to do that. However, I'm gonna have a ton of stuff, right? On top of that, I want to make available at some point, and it'll probably. I'm thinking maybe put it in my Discord because I did for the first like 30 that I put on YouTube or 35. I had it in my Google Drive for people to go to, but I think that might be a little much as people usually just do Discord now. So maybe I'll put it in my Discord, create like a channel, and then just drop them all there, like the actual files. So if people want to use any of them for their video content that they're gonna put on, I don't know, TikTok or Instagram, whatever. Maybe you got a game clip or maybe you're doing an unboxing or whatever, right? So you would have music, background music, right, as to go along with your content. Um, yeah, you'll be able to grab them there and then put them into your video editing program or whatever. The only thing I would ask is don't don't try and make a single or mixtape or an album with it, right? If that's something you're interested in, come talk to me, right? And I'm on BeatStars, so I'll be uploading the stuff there as well. And then get your lease or whatever, right? So as far as not having to pay, if you just wanting to use it as background music for your content or for your stream, I'm all with it. The moment you start trying to make tracks and go platinum and all that, we gotta talk. Sit down. Sit down. That's not what this is made for, but sit down, right? We can talk about it and maybe it can't be made for it. But yeah, some people they're gonna try it because I don't know where their mind's gone. I don't know where their mind's gone these days. I like this. This is real chill right here. I'm so glad this camera is off right now, cause I might be doing a little groove over here. It's one of those. It's one of those. So some of these are still in the idea phase, as you can see here. So what I try and do is, one thing I learned is like as we make the beats and stuff like that, and when the artist, is wanting to purchase or just as a listener, whatever, after a certain amount of repeats, the ear wants to hear something different, right? So after a particular pattern is played like a certain amount of times, it wants to hear something different, right? You ever been listening to music and maybe like after 3 times around and hearing the thing the same way, like all of a sudden your ear or you just start feeling like, okay, I feel like it's gonna be a change. Like you just automatically just you're wanting to hear something different and you get let down when you don't hear something different, right? Or you get excited when you do hear something different and it just makes it pop even more, right? So trying to keep that in mind as I build music, I always try and take it in sections. So I never just think like I'm gonna create this loop and then everything that's in this loop we're just gonna leave it like that, right? No. You gotta think about just as an artist, right? Would write and have to tell a story, right? And have to keep things going, keep it fresh, whatever. You gotta think about the same thing when you're building beats. You're essentially creating a story with notes, right? Musical notes. And you gotta be able to tell a story. And you gotta be able to keep that story interesting. And so then people are going, whoa, they only want to listen to one verse, 1 minute, and then they don't want to listen to the. Okay, because if your song goes like this, right? Okay, this might actually sound dope. And you're going, okay, yeah. And you're nodding your head and all that. And you're like, all right, cool. And then somebody starts rapping over it or whatever, right? So that's a little introduction. That sounds cool, but this just never changes. It just never changes. After a while, you're gonna get tired of hearing that. You're not gonna want to keep hearing that anymore, right? Right. But that's what a lot of people's beats sound like. Maybe they might have a transition or something, but it'd be the same exact arrangement the whole way through. Gotta learn how to pull some things out. Sometimes they don't need to be there. Sometimes maybe you pull one thing out, but you can introduce another sound that comes in. Like there's so much stuff that you can do to make your story interesting as it plays for the next 3 or 4 minutes. But people have gotten so bad at storytelling on either side of the field that nobody wants to listen to it for very long. So these are incomplete because they still need work, right? I hear it a lot. They're like, this sounds good, this, that, and the other. Okay, that's cool. The sound selection might sound dope, but could you imagine this running for the next 5 minutes with no change? Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna actually sit there and listen to that for 5 minutes? You're not. So, especially if there's no lyrics and we're just creating beats here. I'm just putting out beats. I have to do more, right? And I can't just put a loop I made that's like 4 bars long and then just have that loop go throughout the entire song. Nobody's, this isn't tailor-made for somebody's song or something like that. There's no lyrics going over it as far as I know, right? And so anyone that's going to listen to this is just going to hear that same thing over and over and over. You're not going to make it past 30 seconds before you're tired of it. Come in and break up the repetitiveness a little bit. Introduce another sound here. And it keeps you forward to wanting to hear what's next. And every time I go, what's next? And it's the same thing. I'm like, okay, I got it. I got it. It's cool. It sounds good, but I got it. I don't need to hear this anymore, right? Verse 2. So here's verse 1. What can I do in this first part that sounds different from this part? Whoa, let's take out the snare and see what happens. Right? Sometimes it's just little stuff. It doesn't have to be major changes. It doesn't always have to add in something different, right? Sometimes just little things like that can change a vibe or, enhance something. And then here, the second half. So what can I do? This was the second half, right? So what could I do different this time? in the verse for the second half. Well, we have this little thing that's playing here. But it's playing in the chorus, right? It's just a background sound. How about we move that there? And then right, we have that, but you notice that's missing here, right? So second verse sounds completely different from first verse. We didn't add anything extra or new into it. We just rearranged, because the arrangement of the song, and we just arranged how things were gonna go. Sometimes it calls for you to add in the new sound. Sometimes you don't have to. You can get away with it, right? Now, you don't hear that. Here, it's gone, because we already played it here. And that just be too much to keep it going. So, now this chorus sounds slightly different from this chorus, right? Alright. Here we go again. This is verse 3. This is the first half. Notice anything different? Oh, we're not playing this sound now. Right? It's completely missing here, so. And now, from way back in verse 1, we're in verse 3. We're actually going to hear this section play again. That's how I like to think of it. I do it, I take it section by section. And what do you notice? Looks like all the drums are missing, right? And all these just play a part. Right, and I'm not even into the drums, right? How I got that arranged and different things that come in and all that. But all of that works together. It all works together. If I would have just left that at, if I would have just left that here, so I did this, I made the verse, and I said, okay, done. And I just copy pasted this so it was, time to close out, and then I just faded it out. You would be hearing this every time. So we make it here. Right, we're at 1minute and 4 seconds. Okay, y'all see why they're turning it off now? Because once they get past that minute 30 mark, right? So let's say going to a chorus, you're about 1:30. They don't want to hear this no more. They've heard everything, and the song's not going to change. So maybe the first time they listen to it all the way, and they go, "There's no change," right? The lyrics, like nothing's begging for change, like whatsoever. There's nothing here to keep me listening anymore. Okay, they're gonna take it through the beginning. They're gonna hear your first verse. They're gonna go, okay, cool. They're gonna hear, or you'll be fading this out, I guess. And then by the time they're here, they're switching the song because they already know if they go past this is what they're gonna get. Right? It doesn't change. So if you add some different things in there, right? If you have certain sounds come in as, certain intervals, it doesn't all have to be within this, right? And we're just just gonna slam everything into here, what we're gonna do, and then it's gonna come back around, and that's all they got. Right? This gets boring, like really, really fast. Yeah, it sounds good. It does. Okay, the sound selection is great, but nothing changes. There's no evolution of this. This is your story. It's a very short story, right? Right? Again. Even though this repeats, that's fine. Even here, look at this. Something's gotta change. So every now and then you'll notice, like every 2 sections here, there's some kind of something. There's a drop, there's something missing, there's something. And you just need these little things so the ear doesn't just get completely tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again like that. And so this sound is exclusive to the verse because you don't see this anywhere else, right? It's only exclusive. This is something I added in after the fact. So, like I said earlier about the signature, when we were talking about DJ Mustard, the video, right? As they're playing all of his hits, you start noticing there's a certain signature that he has in all his music, right? You could just tell the way the groove is going. You could tell the sound selection, like there's certain sounds that he goes to, and that's what he's sticking with, right? That's what he's sticking with. And so, again, this Clone War thing is going to come to an end. Because all the ones, and this hasn't changed, right? It's just, as we go through this elevation of an evolution, all right? People are going to start noticing even more, right? They're not just going to be so complacent with, oh, it's another clone, but this sounds good. They're going to be like, why? Of all the things you could have chose to be, why clone, right? Why couldn't you just be yourself, right? Why couldn't you just be yourself? And we're slowly gonna shift back into where we should have been. We're to pick up where we left off. They tried it. They tried to kill it. They tried to kill the music. You can't kill it, man. That's something you can't stop. You're trying to stop energy, frequency, vibration. What? Since when? Since when were you able to do that? Never. So you can try. You can even suppress it maybe. But it's only a matter of time before it breaks through. And energy, frequency, and vibration, right? Pitch, that's more than music. That's everything. Right? Those are properties of sound. You look it up, you're like, what are the properties of sound? You're gonna see like timbre and amplitude and whatever, right? When you think about it, that's everything. That's the universe, right? Everything moves, nothing is at rest, right? Even atoms, it's energy, it's vibrating at a frequency, right? It's all of that. You're using these terms, but you really need to understand what that means. And so by trying to suppress music is like saying that you can suppress a person. You could do it for a little bit, and then at some point, we're not gonna take it, right? And you're gonna get a pushback. You're just gonna get a pushback. Because you can't contain the energy. You just can't. So let it flow. See, without any words, that's a story in itself. Because that had to be written, right? It had to be composed. It's a composition. What are we doing, people? So, today I haven't been feeling great, right? I think I've said that about a million times. However, normally when I'm here, we like to talk about the things that we do. So, as I'm growing and I'm learning, I'm also willing to share. So, when I'm making music, we walk through. Let's say I'm gonna use right? That would be our D minor. And of course, I'll let y'all see what's going on. Because at the end of the day, chord progressions are not illegal. You can look it up. And I got a music law book behind me somewhere. I had a lot of stuff with music and sync libraries and all that I gotta go over as well. But so these are our notes that we have available to us. So every other note in the scale is going to give you a chord, which I learned a little later, right? But a lot sooner than a lot of you, right? So I probably learned that maybe 2013, 2014. It made me go, what? Because everyone was trying to teach you, you gotta do this, and you gotta count so many steps, and you gotta count so many steps, and blam. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't really help, right? But if you have a scale that you like using, well, that's C minor, so play, skip, play, skip, play, play, skip, play, skip, play, play, skip, play, skip, play, right? And you're gonna form the chords using every other note in the scale. So as long as you know the scale, Google it. You have a DAW, right? You go in here, you tell it what scale you're gonna play, right? Now you have all the chords available to you because once it shows you what the scale is, just do every other note in the scale. Now, how you want to put that together is up to you at that point, right? You can play around with it for the next 30 minutes until you figure something out. Makes your life a whole lot easier since the dolls will just tell you or Google will tell you, and you don't need to go to school to figure out how to make a C major chord or a scale, right? And then you can figure out with some wisdom, instead of having to count all the half steps, just understand that it's every other note. Doesn't matter where you start, it's every other note. So then you start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 notes in the C major scale before you return, right? So you have 7 notes, so you numbered them. C is 1, D is 2, etc. Now, you're almost a pro, right? And now you can go, what are some popular chord progressions? They can tell you, try 1, 5, 6, 4. So now you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4. So we're gonna form chords on 1, 5, 6, and 4, right? Easy peasy, right? Because it's every other note for that chord, and we're just playing the 1 coming down, because going up just doesn't sound right for us, right? So you can always go down and up, it doesn't matter, just what sounds good. Down, we come up to the 6, and down to the 4, right? And for each one, we're gonna form that. Right? Now you have it. Now, you can get more fancy, right? Because you can start taking bring that down, right? That's still considered C major, because C major contains what? C, E, and G. As long as you contain C, E, and G, it will forever and ever and ever be a C major. But since the G is first, right, we call this a second inversion, actually, because the first inversion would be C on the top. Second inversion would be E up top, and then what your second will leave you here, right? The G at the bottom. So your root, C. First, C up here. And then with your second, your E's up here. But that's all still C. And you can, right? Right? You can still make music like that, right? So when you hear something, you're going, why does it sound kind of the same, but it's getting higher in the, because it's inverting. Right? And you can, you can, right? You can actually get away with stuff like that. I've gotten away with stuff like that, but shh, don't tell anybody, all right? That's just between me and you. But you could do that, right? Because why? If you start thinking about it, right? Do this when you're practicing. Don't do this when you're in front of people, right? Once you get better with it, it won't be so bad, right? But we're playing like this and go, okay, here we go. C and G. Then we're gonna move to G, that's our 5. But I'm already playing G. So is there a way that I can set my chord up so that I don't have to jump so far? And yes, because if I'm looking as I'm playing G, these two notes are only one note away from being C, E, G, right? See how easy that was to pull that off? That's simple enough. Sorry. That's simple enough for me to actually be looking at somebody in the face and play that and not have to look down. Right? That's so simple because the spacing now. Sorry, I'm in the way, ain't I? So, doing this, putting the G on the bottom first, but having your CE, makes it easy for when you actually have to move down to G and play the G chord, because now you only got to take these two notes and move them. Imagine being able to play 2 chords and do a simple movement. Okay? Simple movement. And this is your only leap, but it's only a note over. Right? And so since the notes are closer together, it sounds a whole lot better. If you had to jump, right, or doesn't necessarily make it bad, but is that the sound you're looking for, right? And so a lot of the music that we like, a lot of it's played as close together as possible to right? You could, but as you start playing, you go, what key am I going to? What notes are associated with that key? You're like, okay, if I'm gonna play this, it's G, B, D, and F. So when I play my first chord here, I already have the D and the F, which means I don't need to move these. So what needs to move? these are the only ones that aren't playing the notes that I'm getting ready to play next. It doesn't contain the notes for the chord I'm going to play next, right? So you move those to G and B, and that's the same thing as this. It's just an inversion, right? So it makes it much easier. Right? That makes it much easier for you to do, and with your eyes closed too, mind you, right? The only thing that's really moving is your bass, but your right hand is just walking. Walk. It's like a crab, right? And if these notes together kind of make it seem like it's a bit muddy, just remove one of the notes. Sounds cleaner all of a sudden, doesn't it? Boom. Problem solved, right? Might be getting too low there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm learning my jazz stuff, all my 2-5-1s and all 12 keys, and I'm learning this little warm-up method, which is kind of cool because I get to hear everything more in a musical sense, right? And at the same time, kind of learning these different ways I can kind of invert. Right? So it's fun. It's not as hard as you think. But once you start to do it, you realize what a lot of people are telling you, and it starts to click because it's just math. It's all like formulas, right? You gotta make a scale. There's a formula for it. It doesn't matter what note you start on. You get the same sound. Vibe's gonna be a little different though, because the pitch where you start and where you end is gonna change. But it's the same sound, just like, right? If you can just learn to hear that, the rest of it comes to you easily. If you can, as long as it has that same familiar sound, it doesn't matter if you're up here, right? You can feel it out because you know what it should sound like, right? And then once you get, right, then again, you can come in here, every other note's gonna give you those chords that you're looking for, right? Sorry. Right? And now you can play in C sharp major. It's done, right? Just because you knew one. Just learn it, right? And they always tell you whole step, sorry. I'm starting on C. So whole step, half step, whole step, half step, right? Because the distance between the notes, right? Bam. So you can take that wherever you want. But I can also show you how you can take that one formula and you can get the other 7. You can get Dorian, you can get Phrygian, you can get Lydian, you can get Mixolydian, you can get Aeolian, which is your natural minor, and you can get Locrian by just remembering the scale for a major, or the formula for a major scale, right? Because if you take that first whole and put it at the end, it's like saying, don't play the C major scale. Start on D, and we're gonna play from D to D. whenever they discuss the modes, they always go to major, right? And they start, right? Your Phrygian. They all have a sound that no matter what note you start on, it can be replicated. You just have to remember the formula. So you know what a major scale is. So we're going to start on 3 for Phrygian. Then you take the first 2, which are the 2 whole steps, and put them at the end of the formula, right? And so now you're going to get now you have a C Phrygian, right? Those are all the chords in that C Phrygian mode, right? Right? And now you can start playing in other modes. That's a little deeper, but just showing you. If you can remember the formula for a major scale, write it down, keep it with you. You could always figure out the rest of them because all you have to do is just shift the steps, right? From wherever you're going to start, whatever steps are to the left, cut them because that's not your starting position anymore, and then move them to the end of the line. That's it. That's it. And you can get every single mode from Ionian, which is major, to Aeolian, which is right, which is minor. So again, here's our C major. We're starting on A. We're going to cut all the rest of this off, and we're going to play from A to A. Right? And so in the context of C major, because every time we do this, right, we're doing this, we're playing from all the white notes from where we're starting, and then we're going to end on that starting point, right? So you can get your Ionian, you can get your Dorian, that's your 2. You can get your Phrygian, which is 3. You can get your Lydian, which is 4. You can get your Mixolydian, which is 5. You can get your Aeolian, which is 6, right? You can get your Locrian, which isn't really used, from the 7. And again, as long as you write down that formula for the major scale, right? Okay, we're going to start on 2 with the Dorian. So since we're starting on 2, that means the 1, where you take that whole step, just put it at the end of the formula, right? And so now instead of whole step, half step, it's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step. Or sorry, I might have messed that up there. Hold on. So you got your whole step, your half step, then your whole step, your whole step, half step. Right? And so, right? And you're gonna get that familiar sound no matter what key you start from. As long as you follow that formula, you're always going to pick up that vibe, right? You're going to hear that familiarity, and then you just, again, every other note within that scale is going to give you all the chords that are available on that scale. You can then break them down, because what do they tell you? Your 1, 4, and 5, right? Major scale are always major. So your Ionian, which is your major, your 4, which is your Lydian, and your 5, which is your Mixolydian, they all have a major sound. Okay, so the chords you learn that's available to you from the Lydian scale and the Mixolydian scale can also be paired with your major, because they all have a major sound, right? Likewise, your Dorian, your Phrygian, and your Aeolian all have a minor sound. So anything that you learn in Dorian and Phrygian can also be used here, right? So if you wanted to, right? Because where is that coming from? looks just like your natural minor scale, except for this goes flat. So while I'm playing in this minor scale, okay, I can decide, hey, I want to use that flat 2 from Phrygian because it has a minor sound, that scale, and then go ahead and form that chord with it, right? So now we changed out of the natural minor, and now we borrowed a chord from our Phrygian scale. We can go right back to our natural minor. It sounds really good. And you have so many chords that are available in each of these, right? That can be paired and combined to actually create things, right? So if we're in major, let's say we're doing our Ionian, right? Then we have our I'm trying to think, Lydian, which is actually going to give us this. So not this, right? So, okay, that sound you're not gonna find in the Ionian because it doesn't use that. When you follow the formula, it'll never touch this note, right? But you can temporarily step out, right? And you can start to use that stuff. And when you start to use the Mixolydian, right? Okay, so we take it back to C and follow that formula. Or sorry. Right? This is what we're gonna get. So you have this note. So you have chords like this. And you have chords like this, right? And you also have chords like this, which has more of like a diminished sound, so you're probably not gonna use that. So you have this note. Sorry, you guys can't really see that. So you have this note and you have this note that's available for you to use when you're playing in major scales, right? Right? You can temporarily step out of that major scale. And step into another scale to borrow a chord that sounds very familiar, right? That has kind of the same vibe as the Ionian scale. And then we can step back into it if we want to. Right? And you can jump this stuff around, find out what sounds good for you, and then run with it, right? So sometimes you'll, again, kind of like earlier, right? Well, Wowsy, okay, you just gotta think about the modes sometimes. Sometimes it's just going into a completely different key, but playing the exact same thing that you just played. Major, there's a dominant, and then here's my third. If I shift this, because we're in C, up, third, then I play major, 7. This isn't a dominant, but it's a minor. Then play the 3, because in E flat major, your G is 3, right? Right? Boom, brain explodes. Just unlocked something new. I didn't know that was possible. Well, you do now. Yo, Roman, appreciate you stopping by, man. How you doing this afternoon? I need to get out of here. I do start to sound better though, don't I? All that like coughing and gagging and stuff kind of went away. Oh shoot. There we go. How have you been? What have you been up to? He said, I don't see you for a long time. I'm doing all right. a little sick right now. I wasn't expecting to really get anything done because I was just, but I feel like I'm gonna start missing too many days. So like at least show my face. We can maybe go over some stuff that I had completed more recently, and we did, and kind of went on a couple old man rants. Nothing too crazy. Nothing. You haven't missed anything. I'll put it. I'll put it like that, man. But good to see you. Yeah. Let me. I gotta go. So yeah, whenever I always say whenever you see that title, you are now watching a master at work. It's a music stream. So, because I also do games and stuff as well. Try and reserve those for the weekend. But if music is your thing, want to know more as far as theory goes, and again, I always like doing kind of like talk about things that I'm doing and moves that I'm making. Oh, I don't know why I reached all the way over there. Right, I like to talk about this stuff, and whenever we actually complete a song, I like to come back when we do the mixing, and I like to do walkthroughs on that. So some people are wanting to know how to make their beats sound better or their vocals or whatever. That will be the best time to pull up is when we're doing mix downs. You can ask about the effects and different things like that. If you have music and you would like for me to check it out and give it input of any sort, feel free. I definitely love those. We've had quite a few people come by and submit music just to get some feedback, or maybe it's something they're working on or something they don't like, want to know what they could do. I don't mind talking about that stuff. That stuff makes me very happy. All right, but I don't really care to talk about who you think the best rapper is. Shh, 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 shh. It's over now. It's over. All right, but I don't like to get in the lives of celebrities. I can care less. My life's hard enough. But if it's work related, we're talking about like music in the sense of music production, then yeah, I'm all for it. With that being said, let me get out of here.
This is another hit.
Thank you everybody for stopping by. We'll try and be on tomorrow, regular time. That'll be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's actually get some building done, alright? Remember, stay patient, remain diligent, and as always, be majestic. With that, I'm out. Peace.